Okay. Let's get started first. When you lived in Coatesville, because you were born in Coatesville, right?
Yeah,
In the hospital or in a house?
the hospital, as far as I know, I don't know.
And what was you lived on some street that starts with a C, Chestnut or Cherry?
Chestnut Street, 532 Chestnut Street.
And you lived there from the time you were born until...
No, about 6 years old when we first moved there.
Where did you live before that?
Just a little area, it was called Rock Run, as I remember.
Near Coatesville, or?
Yeah, just right there.
Okay. So then you lived on Chestnut Street, even when you went to high school. That's where you still live.
Yeah. See, that was, it would have been about 1929, I guess, in the Depression or around in there.
Oh yeah.
And my uncle Ralph Harrison, he rented this house on Chestnut Street and moved my mother and me there, and my grandmother and Henry and Frank and Edith and Esther, all of them into that house.
Wow. Was it a big house?
Yeah, it was a pretty big house. I remember I had a room that was originally, I think, a sewing room or something on the second floor, just a small room that I had.
Well, what did Ralph do? What kind of job did he have?
He was with the Lucan Steel Company, and he was, I don't know whether welder, foreman, or supervisor. Anyway, I remember when the war started, they would send him different places and everything to work. I remember he flew on the Yankee Clipper to seaplane to Hawaii to work on a diesel engines and a submarine there. And they took him down, they took him for a ride under the sea, and he wasn't too happy about that, I remember.
Really? Well, when you graduated from high school, what was the name of the high school? Coatesville High School or something? Or?
Scott Senior High School.
So when you graduated from there, you immediately got a job working for Lucan Steel?
Not immediately. I don't know, I probably have in this, don't I?
I don't think so. I think this just
I went to
covers
work at Lucan Weld on July 30th. Yeah, I graduated in June.
Oh yeah, okay, June 1941. Oh yeah, it's okay. And then July 30th went with Lucan Steel, so that was...
Lucan Weld was
Lucan Weld.
Subsidiary company. It did all the Lucan Steel, the big steel mill that made the steel, rolled the steel and everything. And then there was a company called Byproducts company that took steel and cut things out of it and made shapes and all that. And then Lucan Weld was the fabrication company that built A-frames for diesel engines and gearboxes for ships and things like that. And I went to work there, and first I worked in a little Lucan Weld office, and as sort of all kind of things. One part of the job was had to take care of the any medical thing. Any of the guys when they working in the mill got something in their eyes or anything, they would come in there and I would take it out and all that kind of stuff. And then when I asked for an opening to go in as into the plant, I went in as an assembler. To start with, there's an assembler would take the blueprints and everything and order or call for the various steel pieces that you needed, and get it all in there, and then put it all together, tack weld it, and then to meet the requirements of the blueprints. And then after it left the assemblers, it would go to the welders, and they would weld it all completed.
So you did that. How long did you work there?
There until I went into the service. So I was there from 2 years, I guess, wasn't it?
Okay, because you went into the Army when? This doesn't say.
43.
In 43 or 42?
43, I think.
43? Okay. Yeah, that sounds about
I mean,
right.
that's where at the time, I think that 43 would be right then.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. The war had already started when you enlisted.
I was working in Lukenweld to see it. Pearl Harbor was December 7th of 41. I had graduated from high school in June of 41.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you worked at the steel at Lukenweld for a year or so. Or almost 2 years after, or a year and a half or whatever after Pearl Harbor then.
Yeah.
And so why did you decide to enlist?
No, the number was coming up or something like that, as I recall. And I knew or was pretty certain that I was going to have to go in.
Well, did they have a lottery back then, or how did you know that you would?
Yeah, the lottery was what was used for the draft.
Ah, okay. So you knew that you were about to get drafted, so
Yeah,
you
at least
figured
I
might as well
figured
just
I was,
volunteer
yeah.
and get it over with.
Yeah. And really, I figured we'd talked to this other guy, Harold Poling, I think was his name. Talked him into enlisting or signing up, and turned out they called him before called me, and sort of felt guilty about that, and that's when I decided to go ahead and go in, figuring it to all stay together, didn't know any better.
So it was you and Jack and this other guy?
Yeah.
Y'all figured y'all could just stay together as a group of
well,
friends and go everywhere in the Army?
this Pauling, I think he had ended up in the Air Force, and Jack, I don't know which direction he went, but seems to me he was down in Texas or something.
Well, he ended up in the Pacific, didn't he?
Jack?
Yeah.
No, he was in Europe, I believe, somewhere, and they were sending back to start sending him over to the Pacific, and he never actually went there, I don't think.
Okay. Let's see.
And Junie, Ralph, he's the oldest one. He was about 3 years older than me, I think, 2 years. But he joined the Merchant Marine and went through the Merchant Marine Academy. He was an officer, junior officer in the Merchant Marine, until he resigned his officer position, whatever it was, And wives over now, he was over in Australia then, I think, somewhere in the
Australia, wow. Well, Merchant Marine, I mean, that's a good paying job.
Oh yeah.
He
Of course,
just,
it was an awfully dangerous job too.
yeah.
I would think so, but
Yeah. Okay, let me stop this for a minute here.